Hello everyone, this is Tate with Levitate with Tate, and I am here with a tarot card reading. So we have 3 piles to choose from. We have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. We have the 4 of Wands. And we have the Ace of Cups. So we have 3 different piles. We are going to be asking the spirit that guides us, whomever you prefer to call it, to give us a message today. Will hopefully help us on our way. So don't forget to hit subscribe, or if any of this resonates, I'd love to know. Okay, so we're going to start with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And then I'm going to get some cards from the Light Seers Tarot. Angel Spirit Guides, please give us about 4 cards to help us get a message today. It's been a beautiful day. It snowed here in Virginia, and I am from Colorado. I lived in Virginia 3 years this month, and this is the 3rd time. And it was like a sign from God, because I asked. I was like, what is this? You know, I'm from Colorado, and I was like, what is the white stuff coming out of the sky? And I found out, I was like freaking out. I thought I was tripping out. I loved it. It was a nice little confirmation that I have a nice big team up there helping me out, watching me out, guiding me on my way. Every day I pray, please protect me and guide me. Please protect my children and guide my children. And that one man I really, really like. And his babies too. Everybody's babies. Guide and protect us all. All right, pile 1. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. We got this card. So the 10 of Pentacles. And then we got the 5 of Swords. And we've got the Page of Wands. All right. I think I'm going to... one more spirit. Page of Wands in reverse. So we got... and the 8 of Wands in reverse. Okay, lots of wand energy going on. And Pentacles. Wands and Pentacles. All right, pile 1. So we have our cards. I apologize. I took a little break to get some coffee. And then my ADH brain started cleaning up my mess from my paper mache that wasn't all the way dry. So I probably have some paper mache on me. Okay? So I apologize. But anyways, so this is an interesting spread. I think it has a lot of very deep meaning. We have the Queen of Coins in reverse, followed by the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, what the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, followed by the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, and the 10 of Pentacles is almost going to be your wish fulfillment. Okay, that's going to be, you know, everything you've ever dreamed of, the big house, the yacht, whatever you want. Okay, for me, it would be a cottage in the woods. That's everything I want with my animals and a bunch of land. A bunch of land so I could garden, get more animals, have my, you know, the people I love there. But yeah, that's your, like, the dream. However, the Queen of Coins in reverse really kind of signifies a resistance to change. So to me, that kind of shows that the reason you're not able to get to this place with the 10 of Coins is that there's something that is keeping you stuck, pretty much. And because we have the 5 of Swords here, I kind of believe it's definitely mental conflict. It has to do with something, maybe a belief system, or you know, something that you're not able to, you know, kind of something, a negative pattern that you're not able to break. And that's also followed by the Page of Wands in reverse, which indicates to me that this negative pattern that you're not able to break is also having an influence on your creativity, on your energy, on your desires, on, you know, your passions. And it's also followed by the Eight of Wands in reverse as well, which is like news, but it's in reverse. So to me, that really signifies that you already know this and that you're refusing to accept this. And instead of accepting it, you're doing mental gymnastics with yourself. And it's really just maybe even cognitive dissonance, which I think sometimes we all do that, especially when it comes to certain things that the society has taught us that we need. And if you're able to get almost everything you want, if you let go of this one thing, maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth letting go of all those mental gymnastics that you're putting yourself through. And part of me thinks that this has to do, there's a lot of yellow here, the Page of Wands, the Eight of Wands in reverse, that has to do with something creative, maybe sexually oriented, but something that you're just not allowing yourself to fully embrace this change. And instead of, like, you might be only looking at this from a material perspective. I think that maybe your problem is that you think that the issue to your problem is materialistic. And a lot of times we think that abundance is only money. Okay, money is just, it's actually imaginary. I read this book called Secrets of Money or something. But anyways, I'll if I can remember, I can't remember it. But it talks about how we all understand money differently. And our beliefs in money stem from childhood. And we're able to overcome that. And it really affects the way we're able to receive abundance or understand our material aspects. And I think that really, that is the message here, is that you need to look around you and see that you actually are abundant and you do have everything you need and wanted and desired, or that you're capable of getting everything you needed and wanted and desired if you're able to let go of these pre-existing beliefs that aren't true. So it's a negative thought pattern that you're able to break. And I talked about this recently, but CBD therapy really helped me. I used to have a lot of negative thought patterns. You can talk to anybody that knew me in high school and like in early college and before I like even in my 20s. I mean, I've done a lot of healing, and you have to do it through your thought patterns. Our thought patterns are neurons, and they're like highways or roads. And the more you think a thought, the more you have to use that path so they become like highways. And sometimes some of our thoughts are so like automatic that we don't even know, because they're super highways, that we're not even aware that we're thinking these thoughts. And it takes a lot sometimes to start taking those detours. Oh my God, I'm thinking that really bad negative thought that I always think that makes me feel like shit. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta stop yourself from thinking it, redirect that thought to, even if it's a similar thought but more positive, so that you're able to believe it, because that's key too. You have to believe. You have to redirect your thoughts until those pathways become super highways, because no one's using the other super highway anymore. Does that make sense? So I think that's a huge message for you today, Pile 1, is that in order to truly reach your 10 of Pentacles, okay? So in order to truly reach abundance and anything as far as practical affairs, if that's one of your aspirations in life, success or any sort of achievement, in order to reach that, you're going to have to let go of these preconceived notions that are holding you up in your mind, these thoughts that keep whispering in your ear that aren't getting you anywhere. And I think that your creativity, and you already know what this issue is, it looks like. So, all right, pile one, I appreciate you staying through. And I hope that helped. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. All right, pile two. So these cards are very interesting. So the Four of Wands is like a celebration card. So that's our indicator card, meaning that this has to do about, you know, celebrating. I always picture, you know, that one, this one's just a the regular Four of Wands, but that, you know, play, celebration, rejoicing, you know, spring vitality. I picture those four girls dancing around the poles, okay? Dancing around the poles. Maybe you're indulging in too much stuff. You know, there's moderation. It's okay to be, you know, very sexual, but I think this is more, you know, this is more about emotions, I believe. All the blue is very about emotions. And, so we go from the Four of Wands to the Ten of Wands in reverse. And the Ten of Wands is about burnout and about leaving a situation behind. And it's in reverse, which makes me think that you've possibly considered leaving this situation that you're overindulging yourself in, maybe behind. Because you've realized that it's created some emotional blockages, I believe. And the Page of Coins kind of indicates like untapped potential, and that you have access to this success, like to success, and you have a solid base, like you're able to stand firmly even on just like one foot, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a warning, like don't squander your talents because you're celebrating too much, or you're not utilizing them, or you're considering, like, maybe you're working too hard. But the Magician in reverse really indicates that you need to be careful not to miss opportunities coming your way. So I really think it has to do with not allowing yourself to be subjected to self-doubt and to seize moments. And to not necessarily present yourself knowledgeable unless you are, because you don't want to manipulate the situation, because that's not going to help you process the emotions that you need in order to get to this. This is like a fulfilled, loving man. And this is like the brightest of the blue of all of them. So these are the happiest of emotions. And in order to get to this happy emotional place, you're not going to be able to get there ever by deceiving anybody, especially yourself. And I think that perhaps you've listened to outside influence from people who have led you to reach this place of detachment in accepting your potential. And they're not doing it. You might have thought that they were doing it from a place. They're not doing it from a good place, okay? That's all I'm saying, is that you need to watch out for these. There's deceitful people in your life, and you need to be careful who you can trust, because they're purposely trying to lower your self-confidence. They're trying to send you these messages to make you feel like you're not capable of doing amazing things, and you really are. So, and unfortunately that happens a lot when you are talented and capable and adaptable individual, people find that threatening and they go after you. So I think this is a huge message that you need to avoid this situation that I think you believe it's a celebration. However, you need to avoid that situation. It's going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to destruction if you don't avoid these deceitful people. You have a sturdy foundation. You have the capability of being happy. You just need to be careful. So make sure you are careful about who you let in your circle and who you allow to spend time in your house, who you even talk to, who you talk to about your stuff. The way I look at it, okay, I used to be an actress. A long time ago, I wanted to be a famous actress, okay, and I went to theater film school, and I was a teacher, okay, and I actually was in Denver. I was like, I'm going to go to Chicago or LA after school. However, I went to an internship in a small mountain town in Colorado, in Silverton, where there's like 300 to 500 people. And everyone knew who I was, and everyone was talking about me because I was kind of wild back then. And I had to play Captain Hook. I had a unidread. It was crazy. But I realized at that point I didn't want to be famous. I didn't want anyone knowing my business. And the less people you let in on your business, it took me a while. I didn't learn it right away. But the less people that you let on your business, the less people have your mouth in your name. It's just easier that way. So anyways, protect your space, right? So I hope that was a good message. And I think just watch out for people. Don't overdo anything. Everything in moderation. You have a sturdy foundation. You know where to stand. Just let's do it. All right. We're going to go to pile 3. All right. So pile 3 is the Ace of Cups. Oh, I already feel like an energy shift. Very nostalgic feeling. Ooh, it's almost like that feeling of being at your grandparents' house, and how it smells almost musty. And you know how your grandparents have a certain smell? I have an aunt that I smell sometimes. She always wears the same perfume, okay? And my grandma, I almost smell okay. Ace of Swords. My grandma's right here. Maybe she wanted to come through and say hi. Okay, Ace of Swords. I love this Ace of Swords. Oh my god. Look at the corner, the spiral into her mind. So we got the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. AC baby. Very interesting. It's about, emotion and love and using mental clarity to get there already. So let's just kind of take a few steps back and get 3 more cards, please, Spirit. So we can get the entire message here. Okay. Oh my god, Ace of Cups. 2 Ace of Cups. So crazy. I don't know why it's so crazy when that happens. I mean, spiritual stuff happen to me all the time. Okay, so we death or rebirth in reverse. And we have the Knight of Wands. All right. I feel like getting this one too. Oh, and the Chariot in reverse. Put these ones together here. All right, let's see here. All right, pile 3. So very interesting Very interesting. And I kind of feel a little bit of sadness. So I kind of feel like this. Obviously, we have 2 aces of cups. Our ace of cups is our signifier. We have another ace of cups. You know, we have another ace, an ace of swords. Okay, the ace of swords is about, you know, logical thinking, sharpness of mind. So see that light? And it's sandwiched in between 2 ace of cups, okay? And, you know, the ace of cups, it really signifies like the beginning of a love relationship, or, you know, really like deep emotions. It could be either deep emotions with yourself, but I really feel like it could be a romantic longing for something. And it involves emotional and spiritual growth in order to do so. But then it's followed by, I really think this is interesting because it's followed by death and rebirth in reverse. And then these 2 cards came out together, the Chariot in reverse and the Knight of Wands, which kind of signifies the need to, in order to move forward, you're going to have to need to let go of something, need to let go of control, in order to transform, in order to fully have this romantic person or situation that you long for. You already have the mental clarity, I think, on what you need to do as far as letting go and moving forward. I think that it's really, you look at these 2 cards are like very orangey, you know, a very sexual energy. And I think it has to do with possibly letting go of some ideas that surround yourself, your idea of self-love, about how worthy you are of love and affection. And you might have clarity of mind about most things, but it seems like when it comes to love, you aren't able to move forward. You have some blocked, you know, sacral energy. And, you know, in order to fully be free in that energy, in order to fully go in the direction that you want, in the path that you want, you're going to have to embrace certain things that have prevented you from moving forward. And so just give me 1 second. I'm looking in. So you really need to maybe stop listening to your logical mind, I think. Because I think your logical mind is always going to put up a fight as to why you're not going to be successful in the romantic field. And your heart is telling you otherwise. Like, your heart is huge. You got a huge heart. You would be a perfect romantic partner. Okay, and I think that sometimes, like, really good romantic partners actually find themselves single because they want someone that meets their standards. But you're capable of doing this. You have to let go of any self-limiting beliefs, okay? And you'll be able to move forward. I think you kind of got to rear that sharpness that you have towards yourself. And you've got to really fall in love with yourself and allow yourself pleasure. And that's part of life. We can't always be suffering. Like, it's about balance of suffering and pleasure, and learning how to appreciate every little pleasure. But the more you allow yourself self-pleasure, the more you'll understand how much you've been holding yourself back. So I think that's a great ending spot for now. But I just wanted to remind you that, I know it's cliche, but you have to love yourself. You can't go into a relationship loving somebody else and have no expectations that someone ever is going to love you back. If you don't think anyone's ever going to love you back, then no one's ever going to love you back. So you've got to let go of any sort of quantum algebraic equation you're holding on to that makes you believe you're unworthy. Because you're very much worthy of love and self-love. And it starts there. Go take a bubble bath. Go eat some ice cream. I know I am. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.